Welcome to Cladco's step-by-step guide on installing our standing seam profile. In this video, we'll walk you through how to professionally install standing seam sheeting. Begin by measuring and cutting your J-rail flashings to fit along the eaves of the wall. Use a timber offcut or a spirit level as a guide to align the J-rail with the angle of the wall. To secure the J-rail, fix ring nails through the 60mm flat section of the flashing. Use 5 nails per length, ensuring the flashing is flush. Before fixing, apply a bead of butyl tape or silicone sealant behind the J-rail for a secure and watertight fit. At the base of the wall, mark the position for your drip tray flashing. The length of the standing seam sheets will determine this placement. Start with the longest side, temporarily fix the flashing to mark and cut accurately. Use straight cut tin snips to trim any overhanging sections. For corners, create a diagonal overlap. Once cut to size, fix the drip tray into place with ring nails and seal using silicone or butyl tape. Measure the width and length of your first standing seam sheet from J-rail to drip tray. Mark this on the wall, then take the 2 measurements to indicate the length of the sheet. If you're centralising the installation, adjust the first sheet's width using a handheld circular saw for a precise fit. Mark the 2 measurements onto the sheet, drawing a line between the 2 to create the angle. Then, remove the first upstand from the sheet. Where possible, mark and cut the sheets on the back to avoid scratching. Ensure the first sheet is square and aligned correctly. Fix with ring nails every 3 to 4 fixing holes approximately 200mm apart down the left-hand side. The outside edge, with the seam removed, can be nailed through the face as the seam will later conceal the fixings. Slide the next sheet onto the J-rail and align it with the first. Gently tap the base with a rubber mallet to nudge it into place. Then, secure the seam by tapping from top to bottom. Secure each sheet using the same fixing pattern. Repeat this process across the entire wall. Measure the final sheet area, mark this on the back of the sheet and cut the sheet to fit. Position the final sheet and use a rubber mallet to secure it over the seam. Fix down the left edge with ring nails spaced 200mm apart, continuing the same fixing pattern. To finish, measure and cut Z-bars to fit vertically along the external corner. Position the first Z-bar 90mm from the outside edge. Place the corner flashing along both bars to mark their position on the adjoining wall. Apply 2 beads of silicone sealant and secure the Z-bars with ring nails every 200mm. Then, measure and cut the corner flashing using a circular saw. Slot it over the Z-bars and clamp it using seaming pliers to complete the corner detail. Remove protective film from sheets once the installation is finished. Now that the wall cladding is complete, we'll move on to installing Cladco Standing Seam Profile on the roof. This section will guide you through each step for both mono and dual pitched roofs using professional tools and fixings. Start by measuring the eaves flashing to span the full lower edge of the roof. If you're combining roof and wall cladding, remember to include the 30mm width of the J-rails in your measurement. If you're installing roofing only, eaves flashing should be paired with standing seam sheets with eave lips. Measure the total width of your roof. The first and last sheets should be equal in width for a symmetrical finish. If you're working with a mono-pitched roof, fix mono-ridge backer plates along the top edge of the roof using annular ring nails. For dual-pitch roofs, you can move on to the next step. Fix the flashing into place using annular ring nails every 200 mm along the top edge of the flat section. Measure and cut verge backer plates to fit the left and right hand sides of the roof. If working on an apex roof, cut the ends of the plates at an angle so they meet flush at the ridge. Tap the plates into place and fold the eaves up around them as required. Repeat this step for both sides. Starting at the base, fix through the verge backer plate using ring nails every 200 mm. Then, measure the width for your first sheet, allowing an additional 25 mm for the verge upstand. After removing the seam, the sheet should measure a maximum of 445 mm wide. Using hemming tools, fold a 25 mm upstand along the top and outer edges of the sheet. These folds will support both the ridge and verge flashings. Position the first sheet so that the upstand is flush against the verge backer plate. Use a rubber mallet to tap the sheet snugly up against the eaves flashing. Secure the sheet using ring nails every 3 to 4 fixing holes down the left-hand side. Use an eaves closer tool to fold the base of the standing seam sheet over the eaves flashing. Take care when folding over ribbed sheets. Excessive pressure may flatten the ribs. Continue installing sheets from left to right. Connect each new sheet to the last using a rubber mallet, tapping along the seam from top to bottom. Secure each one using ring nails every 3 to 4 holes and tighten along the eaves flashing as you go. Once you reach the final sheet, measure the remaining width and add 25 mm for the verge upstand. Using hemming tools, fold the upstand along the left and top edges. This final sheet should be no wider than 470 mm. The edge of this last sheet should align neatly with the verge backer plate. Use seaming pliers to straighten out any imperfections in the upstand. Peel off the protective film layer from the sheet. Cut away the strengthening piece from the notched ridge bar and prepare to fit Z-bars. Measure and cut the verge flashings to sit over the 25 mm upstand and backer plate. For apex roofs, mitre them edges at the top to create a flush join between adjoining verge flashings. Clamp both the top and bottom edges using seaming pliers to seal securely over the upstand and backer plate. Repeat this on both sides to finish the roof. Lay the ridge in place and mark the outer edges so you can know where to fit the Z-bar. Lay Z-bar with notches over the upstands. Fix the Z-bars into place using ring nails. Apply 2 continuous beads of sealant behind each bar before securing. Seal around the edges of the Z-bars to close any gaps. Finish by installing standing seam fillers beneath the ridge area to complete the roofing system. And that completes the installation of Cladco Standing Seam Profile. For more guidance, support or technical help, contact our team or visit cladco.co.uk for more information.